Welcome to Unbreakable Latina. Hi guys, welcome back to Unbreakable Latina. This is your host Melina. I hope you're having an amazing day, whatever day you're listening to this on. I am recording today, Sunday, March 12th, and I am so sore because I just came back. Well, not really just came back, but a few hours ago, I finished up a hike with Angela. We woke up early. We left my house around 8. We headed to the Claremont Loop, which is a local hike by me, and it's my favorite hike. It's 5 miles long. You could take other trails that make it longer, but I just do the straight 5 miles because your girl gets tired. I have been working out constantly, so I really thought that I was going to be fine, but I was huffing and puffing. The incline was intense, and ever since I had COVID, I just feel like my breathing is not the same. Me agito, like when I'm going on the stairs or like a little jog here and there, and kind of worried about that, so maybe I need to go to the doctors. But it was so nice. Everything's so green. It was muddy because it rained, but I loved it. Getting out in nature just makes you have a new perspective in life. I know that sounds extreme, but it really helps me. So when I'm feeling down, or just in general, if I want like a serotonin boost, I do a hike, a hot girl walk or a hot girl hike. So if you're feeling down or you feel like you need a little serotonin boost, I suggest you go on a walk or a hike. And I usually don't go by myself because it's a little scary out there, the streets. You know me, I am an aware queen, so I know that there's a lot of bad things that happen when girls are by themselves, but if you do go by yourself, make sure you take your pepper spray, a little shank, protect yourself. It was so nice. We did the whole 5 miles, and some guy almost ran us over. Some people go biking or cycling, whatever it's called, up the hill. And we were going downhill. Había como, like, there was a little bit of water, so it sounded really nice, like really peaceful. And I wanted to take a video of it for a reel that I did. So I'm on the right side and I hear left. So we move to the right and he goes right next to us and splashes us, and now we're all muddy. So we're definitely muddy. We're outdoors girlies. I want to do a hike with the people that are local. No offense to you that are not local, but it's just easier. I'm so excited for the weather to get better. I'm tired of this rain. Like, I like rain, but I'm not used to this much rain in Cali, and I'm over it. I want spring. I want to have my walks and go for coffee and not have to be running around in a bunch of layers and all cold and stuff. So I'm over it. After the hike, we headed to Euro Cafe, which is a little cafe that I love to go to after the hike, because usually, like, the way I keep myself pumped for the hike is like, I'm gonna have a really good breakfast after this and it's gonna be worth it. I know I bribe myself with meals and I'm not embarrassed about it. Like, I will work for a meal. That sounds so bad. But anyways, we went to the Euro Cafe, we ate breakfast. It was really good, and I had seen that they opened a Whole Foods, which I myself have never walked into a Whole Foods, so I was intrigued because one time I tasted this cake, and I'm not a big cake person, but it was a raspberry chocolate cake. It was so delicious. So I'm like, let's go check it out. And Angela's like, you've never been to a Whole Foods? So in that moment, I knew that I had to drive to Whole Foods and check it out. So we went, and it was a beautiful store, very, very pricey, but we just window shopped. I was pretty full, so I didn't find the cake that I was looking for, and I was just being a golosa. Like, I wanted cake just to have it because it was so good and I wanted to share some with my mom. But we went there and we were just having a good time walking through the aisles, and honestly, if my future partner doesn't take me to walk through the grocery aisles, is it even meant to be? But we had a good time there. And then I remembered that the farmer's market down the street was on today. So I was like, hey, do you want to go walk to farmer's market? She's like, yeah, let's go. So as soon as we got there, we parked. And when we got out of the cars, we're like, whoa, we're already sore. But I told Angela, there's only 3 blocks of the farmer's market. We'll be fine. So we just went, we walked, and then we got some coffee and we headed back home. And that was my morning. If you listened to my last episode, you know that I was invited to my first event as a podcaster, and I was so excited. I had gone shopping on last weekend. I went shopping trying to look for an outfit because, outfits are important to me. And I didn't have anything, according to me, in my brain. No tenía ropa, like, que me voy a poner? No tengo ni una garra, pero no tengo vergüenza because I have a ton of clothes that I forgot I had. Anyways, I had gone shopping. I didn't try anything on because I bought a lot of stuff from stores, aka Zara, where I usually wear the same size and the same style. So I wasn't too worried about trying anything on. And I really don't like trying clothes on at the store. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I rather purchase the items, and if it doesn't fit, then I'll return them. So I already knew what I was gonna wear for, there was a 2-part event. So it was a morning event and a night event, and I already had my outfits down and I was ready. So I am glad that the night before, so the event was on Wednesday, on Tuesday night, after I got home from the gym, showered and did all that, I was like, let me try on my outfits to make sure that they fit. Well, let me tell you, I don't know if I was bloated. I don't know. Anyways, nothing fit me. First and foremost, I tried on the dress that I was supposed to wear at the night event. Tell me why it ripped. It ripped as I was trying it on. Like, I put the button and it just like snapped and started tearing. It was like a satin. So I was like, what the heck? Like, of course, this would be my look. I'm like, what am I gonna wear now? I was almost crying to my mom. My mom was like, you'll figure it out. You have so much clothes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I look stupid. And one thing about me is that I will have a meltdown when it comes to my clothing. It's not my favorite quality of mine. It's my least favorite quality, but there's been time and time again where I'm like, I don't know what to wear. I look dumb. I look this. And I know. I always tell you guys not to talk to yourself like that, but it's one thing that I'm really working on, and it's not going very well. But I will have a meltdown, and then I try on my slacks that I always wear, and they didn't fit me. Well, they fit me, but they're like really tight, and the shirt that I wanted didn't look good with it. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I don't have anything to wear. And my mom, bless her heart, she was trying to like be like, it's okay, like we'll figure it out, blah blah. Like, no, nothing fits me. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna look so dumb. And I didn't want to be underdressed because there was no dress code for this. It just said it was gonna be outside and inside to wear comfortable shoes. So I had the comfortable shoes down, but the outfits were just not coming together. And my mom said, you just try it on tomorrow. You probably just, it's been a long day, blah, blah, blah. She's still trying to be like positive, and over here being a negative Nancy. Like, I'm going to sleep. But I realized that a lot of times when that happens is when I don't have my hair and makeup done when I try on clothes, and then I hate how everything looks. I know it sounds extreme, but as long as I have my hair and makeup done, I feel like more confident in my clothes. I know that you have to think like, oh yeah, when I put my makeup and my hair, it's gonna look nice. But anyways, the next day I woke up, figured out my outfit. Sure enough, it was the outfit that my mom had said the whole time, and everybody loved it. I kept getting compliments on it. And then at night, I just wore all black with a leather jacket and my boots. So now that I told you about my outfit meltdown, let me get into the event. So I got invited to Spotify's Dream On 2023. When I initially had the message that they asked me if I was local to the LA area, I was thinking, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. I didn't know like why they were asking. But I said, yeah, I'm like 45 minutes away, so I guess you can say local. And they're like, okay, cool, because we might be sending out invitations to this event. And sure enough, I got the invitation. I didn't know how to act. I was so excited. I was very nervous because they said they couldn't accommodate a +1 to the morning event, only to the night event. I love doing stuff by myself, but events by myself, and especially being like my first podcasting event, I was very nervous and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anything except that I was invited and I was so excited. That's it. That's all I knew. So thankfully, my sister accepted to go to the event with me at night, but it was like the morning event was from 12 to 4 and the night event was from 8 to like 12 at night. So she's like, what if I work from like a WeWork and you could go to the event and then we'll meet up, and then from there, we'll go to the night event. And I was like, perfect, works out. So in the morning, I woke up early, drove to her house, then she drove to LA. We went to the WeWork. I changed there. It was like 2 blocks down from the event in the morning. So I left her there with all my trochilero and I walked to the event. It was like 2 blocks down. So I walked there, and as soon as I get in, it just, I don't know, it was such a experience that I will never forget. I was just like, wow, like I am really here. This podcast that started last year, October 2021, and it has grown this much, and I'm here, and someone pinched me because I can't even believe I'm here. So I walk in, it's all really cool. There's a DJ playing, tienen paletas, comida, tacos, pizza, drinks, everything, and there's just a bunch of cool features that Spotify was just showcasing for creators. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. You guys know I'm always honest. My imposter syndrome was definitely getting the best out of me, and I kept on checking myself like, no, you deserve to be here. You've worked very hard and you put a lot of time and effort into these podcasts, so you deserve to be here. I kept on like talking to myself that constantly, because there was a lot of creators there that are very well known, and I'm thinking to myself, somebody just like, we don't know who else to invite. I'll invite this girl. But no, I kept checking myself, and I'm like, no, I deserve to be here. I am taking up space for all the Latinas out there, and we deserve to be here. So it was a crazy feeling, but it was such a proud moment for me. I never in a million years thought that I would be at something like that. I had no idea when I started this podcast where it was going to go, and it just such a proud moment. And I was like a loner the whole time. I was going to different workshops. A lot of the workshops were recorded, so it's not like you'd be like platicando con alguien next to me. And most of the people came in little cliques, so it was very like everybody had their group, their peeps, and I was just there solita. So I went to my first workshop, and like I said, most people were paired up or in big groups. I saw this guy sitting by himself, so I'm like, I'm gonna sit next to him because he looks alone and I'm alone. So I sat next to him. We didn't talk because the recording started right away. And then I went about my day, explored a little more, got some ice cream, and was just looking around at all the Spotify features. Then there was this other one, workshop with Emma Chamberlain and Bill Simmons, these like really well-known podcasters. And I walk in, and there's most of the seats are like taken, and there's only a couple seats, and this guy's there again. So I'm like, oh, hey, do you mind if I sit here? Is anyone sitting here? He's like, no, go ahead. And then I'm like, I think I saw you earlier, and like we introduced ourselves, and I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm a mariachi. And the event was not only for podcasters, but they were for artists too. I was like, oh, that's super cool. And then he goes, yeah, what about you? What do you do? And I tell him like, oh, I have a podcast. And he's like, oh, cool. Like, what is it called? And like, I start telling him about it. He's like, that sounds really good. And he like followed me, and he asked me, how did you get here? And I'm like, oh, Spotify invited me. He goes, that's really awesome. You must be doing good. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing okay. And I ask him, how did you get here? And he tells me that he snuck in, you guys. I was like, no freaking way. And I'm like, really? He's like, well, I didn't really like sneak in, but yes. So he tells me that he was walking around the arts district. He's like, I'm just exploring because I work on the weekends, and during the week I'm looking like for a part-time. So I'm like, let's go to the arts district. He's new to the area. So I saw the event, and I asked one of the workers, like, how do I get tickets to the event? Where can I purchase tickets? And that the person was like, hold on one second. And they ended up giving him like a bracelet to come in. And he was just having the time of his life. He's like, dude, I ate so much. I'm like, tú come, mijo, porque de esto no hay todos los días. So we're just cracking up. And like, he's telling me about himself. And like, then the workshop started. So we stopped talking. And he had told me like, have you tried the tacos? They're really good. I'm like, no, I haven't. So when I'm walking out, like he's walking out behind me, and I go, is that where the tacos are? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you mind if I hang out with you? And me, I'm like, no, I don't mind. I need friends. And I told him like, no. He's like, I'm gonna go to the restroom, then I'll come meet you. He's like, the tacos are over there. So I go get my tacos, and he sits down, and he's just telling me about his life. And it was really nice just to meet somebody out of the blue. But I thought it was so hilarious how he snuck in, and I wanted to bring my sister, but I couldn't bring her And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna tell my sister to come over here. He's like, they closed the gates already. But yeah, that's how I got in here. And I was just laughing. And then he went with me to a couple of the other workshops. So I made a friend. And it was such a good time. I learned a lot. There's definitely a lot of good information that I took from it. I engaged with some of the Spotify head people for podcasting and just was giving suggestions. Like, for example, Spotify does have this thing where you can record a message. And right now I use SpeakPipe because with Spotify, it's only 30 seconds to engage with my listeners. So I suggested for them to make it longer so I don't have to use another website for that. And it was just an amazing experience. So then when the event was over, I was so tired. Michaela was right. Being an influencer is hard, guys. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't hard. It's just, you know, like I'm not used to doing stuff like that. So I'm used to my regular life. So it gets a little tiring, you know, the drive and everything. Super grateful. But after the event was over, I was just like skipping on my way back to meet with my sister, and I was telling her all about it. She's like, did you meet people? And I'm like, well, like I met the people from Spotify, but most of the people that were there were honestly employees. Like it seems like a lot of people don't work from the headquarters, so a lot of people seem to be meeting each other, and you knew they were employees because they had badges as a Spotify employee. And there was a limited amount of people. I think there was more events throughout the day, but I wasn't invited to those. I was only invited to those two. But girl, just an event in general, like it was a lot for me. Like I was so grateful, and I hope this isn't my last time. So Spotify, if you're listening, please invite me to your next event because I was so excited. I learned so much, and I will forever be grateful for this moment. I'm not gonna lie, I was super tired at the end of the day from the morning event that I was thinking, like, am I even gonna make it to the night event? But we're already here, and I invited my sister, and we're gonna do this. So we got dressed, we got ready, we went to the event, and it was at the Roxy in West Hollywood, actually. So we went there. There was artists performing, Rita Ora, Gwen Stefani was the main headliner, which was like a dream come true for me to see her because I'm a huge fan since like No Doubt days. If you know, you know. So we get there. It's really cool. They're taking pictures of us, and I'm like, where are these pictures? Is this on my Getty Images? There's a lot of people, muchos influencers, and food, drinks, everything. My sister and I were very, very tired. So we went there, we were like hitting up the tacos. We had a couple drinks. Not a couple drinks. We had a drink, and then we had some mocktails, and we were just like drinking those because, you know, it's Wednesday. We have work tomorrow. So we were there, and it was taking a while for the artist to perform, which, you know, LA, it's nightlife, but these people live there. I don't live there, and I have to drive my ass back to home. It's like I have to drive to my sister's, which is an hour, and then an hour to my place. So it's already like 9 something, and I'm like tired. And my sister's like, are you going to work tomorrow? I'm like, I have to go to work tomorrow. There's no way I can't call off. I can't. So we're getting tired, and unfortunately I didn't get to see Gwen Stefani perform. I know, it's sad, but if I had the day off the next day, I probably would have stayed. But honestly, I was really tired, so I probably wouldn't have last. She was a headliner, so I'm assuming she was gonna go in like 11 or 12 p.m. That was my night, and that was the event. I posted on Instagram about it, and all of you guys were so supportive. Like, honestly, you guys keep me going. I'm so grateful for y'all. People kept reposting that picture and just echándome porras. Like, I haven't even got to all the freaking comments because I want to reach out to each one of you and comment back, pero life's been a little busy, but I promise I'll get back to you. And thank you so much for being so supportive. And it was International Women's Day, which was like, I'll never forget this day ever. And not only did all that happen, but also Fierce Me Too put me on like recommendations for podcasting to listen to, and I'm like, they put my picture up there. No words. Every time that happens, I'm super grateful for anybody that reposts me. I'm like, you're reposting me, little me. So thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to attend that event. All your reviews, your subscriptions, like it all helps, and I'm forever grateful. What else happened? The next day I was dying of how tired I was. In the morning I was fine, like I got this. So I went to work, and my coworker's like, you're here, like you were out late. I was like, I know, I know, don't tell nobody. I live a secret life. But as soon as like 2 p.m. hit, yo según llevé mi gym clothes to go to the gym after, pero nope. My body was just like, I was getting like chills, and I'm like, I better not be getting sick. Pero era cansancio. Like, I'm an old lady. I don't go out like that. So I definitely needed to get home and rest. So I came home, I laid in bed, I ate some jalapeno chips, and I wasn't mad about it. It was nice just to rest. I needed it. And the next day I felt better. So I recovered. It was just la desvelada, porque no tomé, que digamos así. I just had one drink, so that shouldn't do anything to me. So I was very excited for the weekend to come. I had a very quiet week. Besides working, I wasn't really active on social media, even though I have so much to post because I tried filming the Spotify event, but I was so I get so caught up in the moment, guys. I'm not a good video person. I'm a good podcaster, but when it comes to like reels and stuff, I give it to all those people that do these really cool reels. I aspire to be as cool as you because the transitions, you get the freaking behind the scenes of everything. I'm not that girl. I want to be. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. So I still have to edit that video of like little clips that I took. I take small clips. That's my problem. I don't record long enough. I do like 3 seconds and like pause. So I have to do that so I could show you guys a little bit about the event. So this weekend was a little quiet for me because usually I have all these things to do, but I wanted kind of to do some personal stuff, and I'll get more into that because today's episode is going to be about decluttering your life. And that's what I definitely did this weekend. I did have to run an errand, which is going to pick up the dad hats that I created for Unbreakable Latina merch. So they're now available. My mom helped me take the pictures, which was so sweet. She's getting so good at it. She's like, ay, mira, me estoy aprendiendo más. And she's my photographer a lot of the times when I take pictures for merch. For anything, actually. She's getting better. She knows how to work the angles. So mama, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you. I know I always tell you, but I love you. Thank you so much for supporting my dreams always. So I picked up my order, and when I told one of the employees, like, hey, I'm here to pick up an order, he's like, okay, enséñame la foto. So le enseñé la foto al señor, and he's like, okay, I'll go get him. So he got him, and then he opened the box. And see, this is the thing. I wanted to film like my reaction or like just opening the box, and your girl forgets to do that. I get so caught up. So he opened it and he gives it to me, and the pictures didn't do it justice. Like, I love how it looks. It looks so pretty. It's embroidered and it's black and with white embroidery. It says Unbreakable Latina. Can't wait to see you guys wearing them. And then el señor dice, ay, qué bonito diseño, muchacha, qué bonito. I'm like, gracias. I'm like, quiero una. But he was just like, me gusta mucho. So I was like so proud because he was like hyping me up. And I am excited to wear it everywhere I go now, cuando no me peine, porque casi los fines de semana no me peino. So if you don't want to do your hair, order an Unbreakable Latina hat. They look super cute. You could dress it up. It was giving Selena vibes. I only ordered a limited amount of them, so make sure to get yours so you could be rocking it this spring, this summer. Protect yourself from the sun. So on this week's episode, I wanted to talk about decluttering your life because this week, since I had the event, and honestly, no excuses, it was just like a busy week and work was very draining for me per usual, but my room felt like a mess. Like, I hadn't really cleaned. I don't even know what I did last weekend. What did I do last weekend? But besides that, I stayed home. Pero se ensució mi cuarto rápido. I bought a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have bought, so I returned a lot. I had my suitcase from when I went to the event. Un chingo de cosas, pues. I was feeling very overwhelmed and like, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but at me, like, when there's clutter, I cannot function. And one thing that I have learned is how to declutter, and it makes me feel so good. It helps my mental health so much. But I was thinking of how I grew up, and like, my mom, sorry mom, airing your dirty laundry, it's hard to let go of things. And I think a lot of first gens have this issue with their parents or maybe themselves, because I just think of how, back in the, I guess, at least for my parents, they didn't have a lot growing up. So now that they have stuff, it's hard for them to let go. Or my mom has this thing where she says, "Ay, no, pero algún día lo voy a usar." And I started having that mindset, but then I realized that for me, like, I can't work like that, and it makes me feel stressed out when I have too much stuff. I think it's from like growing up with not having a lot, that they struggle with letting go of things. My mom always has this mentality of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna use it one day, but she never uses it. So it's a constant like argument. Oh my gosh, when my parents sold their home, it was so hard because, you go from living in a 4-bedroom house with a garage to moving into a 2-bedroom, small, little divided house that we used to live in. Well, they used to live in, my sister and my mom. And I lived in a, let's not talk about where I lived, but it was like going from having my own space to having to share space. And I'm sure my mom felt that way too. It was very hard to let go of stuff, and we got in so many arguments because it was a very stressful time. But I kept saying, like, let it go, like, just let it go, like, we don't need this, we have to only, like, whatever, like, you could only take what really matters when it comes to like pictures and like certain things that hold a lot of memory or value, mostly emotional value, because you have to pick and choose what you're going to take. You have a limited space. Now, we weren't going to pay for storage because we didn't have that kind of money, and we just had to let it go. So one thing I've learned too is to declutter like my room. And I hadn't done that in a while because I've been so busy, but I felt like it was weighing heavy on me. So yesterday I decided to declutter my life, and I started by going through my drawers. I didn't do my whole room, but I did most of my clothes. And I kept yelling to my mom, "No tengo vergüenza, tengo un chingo de ropa." And she's like, you do have a lot of clothes. Because you guys, I thrift a lot of my clothes. So no me duele to re-thrift or recycle or re-gift, because I don't pay full price for it, because ain't nobody got money for that. And sometimes I do buy myself new things. Like there's certain stuff that I like workout sets, I'll definitely buy, or staple like shoes. I won't thrift shoes because I just don't like that. But shoes and workout sets I will buy, and jeans, because jeans are hard for me to find. But the rest of my clothes, like a lot of the stuff that I buy, I usually wear a couple times and then I redonate it or give it to somebody, because it's thrifted y no me duele. The other stuff that I buy like full price, I definitely hold on to it. But I had a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, si voy a una boda me voy a poner este vestido. I'm like, girl, you're not going to a wedding. No one's inviting you. No one's getting married. Like, just get rid of it. So I got rid of a lot of stuff. And then I realized that I had so many shirts for the summer for when I go to Mexico. I don't need to shop that much, but I'm still going to. And I got rid of so much stuff, and it felt so good to get rid of stuff. So I started talking to my mom about it and how decluttering makes me feel better. And I'm like, I should do an episode on that, because some people need that reminder. So I did a little research, and I saw this article about decluttering, and it said that excessive clutter is often a symptom that causes stress. And I'm like, no wonder every time like I have a lot of stuff going on. My space is small, so I have my merch, I have my microphone, and I try to like store as much as I can, like hide it. Not hide it, but organize it where like there's a space for it, so that way like my little space is still open. There's only one person that I know that will declutter their whole life in one day, and that's my sister. But she's another level of crazy. If you're listening to this, Roxy, yes, I'm talking about you. Once she gets like in the cleaning mode, she'll clean the whole house, and she doesn't sleep. Like she could go on for 24 hours without sleeping. That's excessive. But she's a little crazy when it comes to decluttering. Like one time she redid the whole kitchen where we used to live, and I was just like, girl, relax, it's not that serious, go to sleep, you can do it tomorrow. Me myself, I would get overwhelmed if I clean everything at once, so I gave myself the task of just cleaning my clothing. My next would be like my drawers where I have my skincare, my hair products, and my makeup. So that's probably next weekend or sometime this week if I have time. So if you're learning to declutter, take it one step at a time. If you haven't watched like that Marie Kondo Netflix special, you should watch it. And she goes around and like helps people declutter their life and get organized, and she asks, does this bring you joy? So I know I have a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't care to have that. And sometimes you're like, oh, I might wear it one day, but you don't. So not only just Start either selling, donating, regifting things that you have. Make your life easier. I read this thing that said that people spend a lot of time, like 50 minutes a day, looking for stuff that they know they have, but they don't know where it's at because they have that much clutter. And I'm like, I've been there. So it really helped me to see what clothes I have. I buy organizers from IKEA, and they have helped so much, because sometimes in the morning where I'm in a hurry, or, you know, you're getting dressed fast, you don't know what clothes you have. I tend to keep wearing the same clothes that I wash because I'll put it on top. But now I folded it in a way where I can see all my shirts, and I'm able to see, you know, like to wear different things that I forget that I have. So here are 6 steps to decluttering your life. First, you have to identify, why am I doing this? Why am I decluttering? Is it because you feel overwhelmed? It's hard for you to find stuff. You spend a lot of time in the morning looking for that one shirt. Is it because you want to save money? You want to have a minimalist lifestyle? Or you want to make space for some new clothes or some new furniture? So you have to figure out your why first. And decluttering is not easy, because let me tell you, it gets easier as you keep practicing it, but you have to set some ground rules. For example, have I used this in the last 6 months? If you haven't, get rid of it, sis. You have to be honest with yourself. For example, if you have like 30 tumbler cups, you use your favorite one only. It's time to donate the rest, give it to another home, or take one to work. Get rid of it. Me telling you guys to get rid of everything, get rid of it and send it to my house. A ver qué van a donar, porque quiero ver primero. I'm kidding. But it's true. Sometimes we have stuff that we don't want to get rid of because, oh my gosh, it was expensive at the time, pero ya se está quebrando el plato, amiga. If you're having a hard time when you're getting rid of something, this is one question that I read on the article that really, like, I was like, whoa. Ask yourself this question. Am I holding on to this item because I enjoy using it, or because I feel obligated to keep it? I was like, whoa, that's a good question. So if you feel obligated because you spend a lot of money on it and never use it, you have to forgive yourself for spending that money and not using that item. I'm mostly focusing on decluttering your home, but you can also declutter other parts of your life, like social media. Make sure you're surrounding yourself and following people's accounts who lift you up and brighten your day. If there's an account out there that doesn't make you happy, or they bring you down, or it makes you question your self-worth, then maybe it's time to unfollow them. Also, one thing that I really want to do, and I've been putting it off for so long, is decluttering my phone. I have so many pictures within the last year, and I try to do it, but I honestly don't look forward to it, and it's exhausting to look through every picture. I have like 30 pictures of my niece of one day of the same post, but I'm like, I have to find the best one. Or when I go traveling, if I take a bunch of pictures and screenshots that I have and like reels that I repost, and they're all on my phone, and I need to clean it out because it's gonna get worse. So I need to do my phone as well. And make sure you're focusing one space at a time. So one day, do like one drawer. If you find it overwhelming, just take it, like I said, one step at a time. If it's easier for you, write it down. Have goals of what you're gonna accomplish, like on days that you don't know what you want to do, you don't have anywhere to go, and you're like, let me get some stuff done. Conquer one thing at a time. I also have to declutter my emails. I usually do that often when I'm not doing anything and waiting. Like, let's say I go to the doctor's and I'm waiting in the room, I'll start unsubscribing from everybody that I subscribe to, and I'm like, I don't want to receive these emails anymore. So let's start off the spring by some spring cleaning and decluttering your life. And before I end this episode, I do want to share this quote that I read. Every minute you spend looking through clutter, wondering where you put this or that, being unable to focus because you're not organized, costs you time you could have spent with your family or friends, time you could have been productive around the house, time you could have been making money. I hope that quote inspires you to start decluttering your life. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. There's a little bell on Spotify next to the podcast that will give you a notification every time a podcast is uploaded. So don't forget to click that. It helps out a lot. Don't forget to order your merch. Only a limited amount of hats are available, and I don't know if I'll restock. So put that order in. I'll be shipping a lot of them tomorrow morning because I already have a lot of orders. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. I also want to do a big sis advice segment. So there is a link on the show description where you can send a voice note. So if you need advice in anything, send it to me. I will be recording that for next week. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Unbreakable Latina, Twitter, Latina Podcasts. Subscribe to YouTube. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing week. Bye.